Hello, Tim here. Welcome to my channel. In today's episode, I'm outside because that's where the Burls are. You might hear some background noise. This is probably one of my favorite things to do, is go for walks in woods. And I take a lot of pictures of burls and formations. And so what is a burl? And you might hear that term, and why should anybody care about it? But it's some of the most unusual wood, and some of burls are highly sought after for fine furniture, maybe dashboards of expensive cars like Rolls Royces. But for the wood turner, which is what I do with it, it creates just absolutely beautiful work that's so intertwined. The grain changes and reflects in different ways. In a few minutes I'll open this up. This is a burl that was on a cherry tree. It's a big growth, and you'll see the either side of the branches, and the guy that gave this to me chainsawed it in half. So I'm going to take that stretch wrap off and show you the inside of that. But a burl might have been caused by maybe a disease or an insect or something, but it's where a branch would have come out normally, but it somehow got ingrown, and it just keeps growing and growing around it. If you see a cool burl on a tree, you can't cut it out without killing the tree. In this particular case, this is a maple burl, and it was cut out of a tree that was going to be taken down, and I wanted to have a chance of getting this burl before it got chewed up in a wood mulching thing. But I got these burls in about 2 years ago. Tried to put some shellac on them so they won't crack, but it is cracking a little bit. And that's the one thing about burls, is that to get them to cure properly, it takes quite a bit of time. This stump here was given to me with the burl on it, and this is what typically you'd see in various forms. There's no two alike, but this is a growth on a white oak, and if I cut this down like this, it'll open up into something very cool. This is a white oak burl that's been partially turned, and I'm going to finish it up. It's been curing for a while, but sometimes I rough them out and then let them dry. They dry a little quicker that way. Enjoy seeing pictures of incredible burls and wonder. My mind goes into different directions, thinking, what would that look like if I could do something with it? Well, years ago I did start something, and I haven't finished it yet. This is a big maple burl. It's 22 inches in diameter, and when I had it, I had a lathe at the time that was big enough to handle this. This is a 1-inch steel rod that's been epoxied in there, and that's my center. So the way I had this rigged up, it worked out. This is 22-inch diameter, and I filled the cracks with epoxy. It is stabilized after several years. It's not moving anymore, and that's the problem with working with burl. You're going to have to work with what you got, but filling it needs to be finished, and I have yet to make a base for it, and I haven't decided what that base is going to be like. But this is the biggest burl I ever turned. When I started, it was bigger than that, but this one is maple. This is cherry, and part of this cherry, I've made a couple of smaller. This out of the same chunk of wood that was sawed up flat. I didn't have to work with an irregular shape, but some of this cherry is little pieces like this, and you might wonder, well, why would you save that? But there's still some beautiful pattern in here that I could make a small bud vase or knobs or something. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. This is happens to be a piece of butternut burl, and this is what I would do with small pieces. This is a little bit bigger piece, But this is a wax box. Wax on one side, grease on the other. This is a white oak burl. And just take a look at, I'm going to get this wet and just see. This gives you an idea what it's going to look like with the finish on it. And it's quite stunning. And this is white oak burl too, very similar piece, but it had a discoloration in the piece of wood where the branch was shooting off to the side of the burl. So that's just a small little bowl. These two burls are the same, and see what happens when I get this wet. It just comes alive. You can see a little coloration there, but you got a little defect in here. But that could be filled with epoxy if I was gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, if it's gonna be a bowl. But this is a really prized one. So this is cherry, and it's one of my favorite woods to turn. And I stretch wrapped this together because it was slipping all over. I couldn't hold them together otherwise. And get that into the sun. Doesn't that look like an agate? Almost like a geode. And the other half looks the same. And it's just something I find just so intriguing about this. Get more water on this one. So I don't know if I'm going to do I don't think I'll do a bowl. I'm not sure. Sometimes the idea will come to me in the most unexpected way. I might try to incorporate these two in with that as a table. I'm not sure. So a lot of things inspire me with ideas, and I have no idea what's inside that one there. This is another piece of cherry burl. This is sort of a burl. This is mesquite, and sometimes these are used for base to put a carving on it or something like that. And sometimes just leave it as it is. I don't know what to do with that, but it's kind of got burl in it, and I don't know if it's worth, if people make pipes out of things like that. I'm not a smoker, so I wouldn't know if that's good for that or not. I know it burns. Anyway, those are some of my burls, and I enjoy the journey through the woods, as you can see in some of my pictures. Hopefully you find this inspiring and come up with your own ideas. So enjoy the quest. But if you see a burl on a live tree, don't cut it off because you'll kill the tree. But if it's coming down anyway, that's the way to get them. And then they take a while to dry, and see what you come up with. So thanks for watching, and please give a thumbs up if you would, and please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.